This might just be one of the worst episodes of anime that I've watched in a while now. Last night, I decided to sample some of this season's newest anime, and I haven't quite found anything of value to me just yet. But there was one standout show. The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest. I was drawn in by the series not having any synopsis on Crunchyroll, and after watching the first episodes of My Dress-Up Darling and Akabi's Sailor Uniform, which to me were most of the same Cloverwork stuff that's usually put out, though My Dress-Up Darling seems to have a bit more potential here, I was looking for something different. And instead of looking up a synopsis on something like My Anime List or Wikipedia, I decided to go straight into the comments section and immediately saw one that read, "It feels like I just watched a whole season of events in a single episode." So I knew this was going to be special. Now the problem with Strongest Sage is this. The show gives absolutely no room for exposition in its first episode, and if it is to continue down this way, it's going to lose viewers even more than it already may have. We get some form of exposition with a flashback showing a sage using his powers on a monster, and then cut to our main character on a wagon with a merchant on their way to the capital, where at a shop he meets two girls, Luri and Alma. In conversation with these two girls, we kind of get a hinting that this character is not of this world, or maybe he's just not of this area, because it's left super vague as Luri introduces herself with the line, "I am not romantically involved with anyone." And super main character bro, Maddie, says, "Is it customary to divulge your relationship status here?" If we put two and two together, we get that Maddie is reincarnated in the same world, though if it's in the future or the past, we're not quite sure. And the synopsis doesn't even really explain that, though I'm almost pretty certain it's in the future. The series has all the trappings of an isekai, except the fact that the boy is reincarnated into his own world. From the shop, we cut straight to the entrance exam for a few minutes, and then immediately to the entrance ceremony, where Maddie is called into the headmaster's office. The headmaster exposits for a bit about the role of his school, Second Academy, and the plan to return the art of wordless spell casting. But the sister school, First Academy, has wiped that from the history of magic. He instructs Maddie to teach the staff about wordless casting, and off we are to a lesson, taught by Maddie. But we don't actually get to see the lesson because we skip right to the results of the characters learning wordless casting. The episode concludes with a school-on-school tournament wherein Maddie reveals that his opponent is in fact a demon, and with perfect precision stops him from doing things that demons do. Down to the second. There's literally a line. It takes 1.5 seconds from spreading his wings to take off. 0.8 seconds for my enchantment. 0.7 seconds remain. Oh, and this supposed demon in hiding's name is Devillis. Talk about inept observation from everyone else around him. What gives him away is the fact that he can use wordless casting too. But if Maddie can use it and teach it to other humans, and it was a practice put into place years ago yet wiped from history, there has got to be other people who kept records of it out in the sticks or something. And there's something going on with 4 crests, 3 of which are publicly accepted, 1 of which, dubbed Failure, is made out to be the worst thing ever. Kind of reminiscent of how the public perceived the Shield Hero. In fact, literally just watch Shield Hero. This is clearly a botched adaptation of its light novel, and I almost wonder how many chapters this first episode actually tried to adapt. It's probably the single worst episode I've watched in the past few years, and it already sets a bad start for this series, that otherwise doesn't do much to separate itself to begin with. Maddie is basically now Fumi or Asta, except Shield Hero and Black Clover actually had reasons to keep me involved in their stories. I might keep watching this to see if it gets better, and I might watch it if it continues to get worse, just to see how bad it might actually get. But at the end of the day, it's just a terribly rushed product with no love put into it. Hopefully that can change, especially for the fans that were expecting more out of this.